What's up, everybody? How you doing? We got the markets shaking people out that are not prepared, but we got the charts to keep you in the know about exactly what's going on. We're going to shorten this little intro. We're going to get right into it, so no need for a countdown. Everybody hit that like button, throw a 1 in chat if you're ready to go, and let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you're having a wonderful day. The markets are doing some chopping. They're moving up, they're moving down. It washed, caught that little bull trap to the upside. And this, I did not change. This little arrow, remember on yesterday's stream, I talked about a little bit of a rollover possibility that could be happening here. And we got it right at that $70,000 mark. And it's a little interesting because it's not just Bitcoin. We see the breakdown from this trend line, move back up to basically retest this, flip that, confirm a potential further move down. We also see Chainlink moving up in this rising channel, which is not super bullish because if this does come down to this level and potentially wash a little bit more to the downside, we can also see Stacks having this sort of symmetrical triangle here. Huge move to the upside, very exciting. Not only did we break down back below this, but also below this support level. We moved up into this zone, confirming this, and now basically holding on by a thread. We're seeing this across the board on a lot of different assets. Remember, yesterday I shared that 2-hour chart, and it felt like it was going to be invalidated when the price action was pushing up. But we've had so many inverted head and shoulders. An actual head and shoulders this time. We see the price action pushing up, larger move, smaller move, with a little bit of a trap here. Price action coming back down, losing this level, potentially confirming a further move down. We're going to be talking about that and what's going on because there's a lot of things going on in the news today that I feel like are more engineered to make you question your motives, to make you question what you should be doing. And remember, we talked about it yesterday. There's so much bullishness in this market right now. On the macro, do not get caught up in a 2-hour, 1 hour, 15-minute chop because the market is just whipsawing back and forth, trying to shake people out that don't have that good grasp on what their time horizon is for these markets. Everybody, if this is your first time here, welcome to the show. My name is Kelly Kellum, and I'm honored to be a community member with you, and I'm happy that you're here with us as well. I just ask if you would, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding the bell. I want to shout out our channel partners, Galactics. We did do the $100 giveaway yesterday. We're going to be getting that all sorted today. But we got another giveaway today, and I'm going to be doing this one by the end of the week. I'll be drawing this one from Austin, from Consensus. I am headed there tomorrow morning. I may or may not stream tomorrow. If I do, it'll probably be midday or in the evening because once I land, I can't check into the hotel until 3 o'clock, but I will be streaming while I'm out there. So don't worry about that. I'll keep you in the know. But I do want to just shout out right here. If you head over to this tweet, get in on this because this is going to be a shorter window. You have a higher probability of getting that $100 USDT giveaway. We do it. We basically randomly pick, random comment picker from the people that retweet and like. I'm going to do retweet to win. There's only one winner. That tweet link is in the live chat right there. I'll pin it up to the top as well. But make sure you go and check out Galactics. They got some really great stuff. It's basically a reimagining of online gaming, gambling, casino, RPG world. It's an awesome deal. Always make sure you have your VPN on no matter when you're signing up or doing anything, navigating around the internet, especially when you got crypto and finance stuff you're doing to make sure people cannot hack you. And also, I always do it through Lithuania or Brazil, and it helps make sure that I can log in anywhere I need to as well. Make sure you're always practicing healthy risk management. But this is they're launching June 3rd, so make sure you check them out. The link is right here on this tweet, galactics.io/?R=BitLab. But get in on that. It's a great way to help support the channel as well by helping support our partners. Now, I want to move into some of these things that are going on. Let's go right here. Back down below. Remember, we were 2.61, 2.62 yesterday, $1 trillion. Now we're back down. Oh, my God, it's such a huge dip. 0.255 trillion. Nothing's really happening. We had a huge impulse yesterday, sell off today with some news, and we're going to talk about that. This is not where I wanted to go. Right here, we had Donald Trump has asked if Bitcoin can help solve the $35 trillion U.S. national debt problem. The fact that this is even being asked or considered is monumental on the stages of where we're at in this market and how much further we still have to go. But remember that how much further we still have to go is an opportunity for you and I, for the mom and pop, for our cousins, for our neighbors, people that think that they've already missed the boat. No, the boat is not even left the dock yet. We are still so early. So whether or not you like Donald Trump, look at this as a major, very well-known politician bringing this to the forefront of the conversation for people that are maybe just hearing about Bitcoin for the first time or starting to understand it, because we're starting to see all these promotional campaigns for these ETPs, these electronically traded products and ETFs from BlackRock and Fidelity and et cetera. So this is positive, regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum. Now, we also see the NASDAQ traded similar Scientific adopts Bitcoin as primary treasury reserve asset. This is the continuation of those dominoes falling. MicroStrategy setting the stage, demonstrating what is possible when you put Bitcoin on in your corporate treasury, on your balance sheet. And how does this affect this traditional finance asset? Well, look at how this traded almost immediately after. Similar Scientific is up 28% after revealing its Bitcoin treasury strategy today with $40 million Bitcoin purchase. This is going to be the continued story, so much so that we're not even going to need to share these types of things anymore. This is because we're still early. It's amazing to see not only the 900,000 plus institutions and corporations that bought into the Bitcoin ETF in Q1 of this year following that ETF approval and launch, showing that it's not taboo anymore to discuss Bitcoin or hold Bitcoin on your balance sheet, have exposure, especially through these regulated ETFs. But also, we also see the other side of that, the more aggressive approach with corporations and institutions adding Bitcoin to their corporate treasuries. This is going to be the story that when we look in 15 years' time, what companies are still here, what companies are doing well, which ones failed. I guarantee you the ones that have good exposure to Bitcoin start layering in early are going to be some of the biggest companies in the world and very safe in the future, because you're outside of the risk of the never-ending money printing that devalues what you're holding. Now, when we look also, why did the price drop? Well, I personally think this is a little bit engineered, a little bit manufactured, in that nothing has fundamentally changed. There's a little bit of a spook in the market because Mt. Gox, and I'm not going to go into the whole thing. If you want to hear a little bit more about it, you can watch the Discover Crypto stream that DZ and I just did. We talked a little bit about this at the very beginning, first third of the show, but major exchange. It was, I think, one of the, if not the only exchange back in 2014. They're finally getting to the point where this year they actually have a deadline of when they can redisperse a lot of the funds that have been held for over a decade. 141,600 something right here, 141,684 Bitcoin. I did the math on this. At the price today at 68,300, it's $9.6 billion worth of Bitcoin that's going to be dispersed back out to those holders. Now, the question is going to be, right now, all we've seen is the movement from one wallet, or move out of one wallet into 3 new addresses. So all it is, they've just transferred it from the main wallet to these other wallets, probably preparing at some point this summer into October, when the deadline is, to start dispersing. The question is going to be how, when, and where the disbursements are actually going to come. And then the follow-up question there is are these people going to sell when they get the crypto? Well, I mean, let's go ahead and look at where is, right here. Let's go ahead and look at this chart right here. Is this it? No. Which chart was it? Boom. I think it was this one. Yeah, this one right here. This is Mt. Gox failure, February 2014. If we take the price point roughly about there, it was about a little under $700. What are we at today? A little under $70,000. That is a 10,000x. So what do you do the math on that? What is that? That's 100x. 100x from this point to here. So the question is, yes, we see the price action. We see the possibility. We see the macro about where the likelihood of Bitcoin is going to go between now and the next 14 months. But think if you had 100, 10, 1,000, 10,000 Bitcoin. Because remember back here, if somebody was holding here, the majority of people that were holding here bought it much lower. It's $2, $6. Even if you bought this peak right here, $13. If you bought this peak, $250. So the point being is there is incentive, there's 100x incentive for people to de-risk because they just endured 10 years. And so maybe there's a little profit taking. Maybe there's a lot of profit taking. Maybe there's no profit taking at all. All we can do is look at the charts and account for our strategy, healthy risk management, because this is a $9 billion weight that's going to be sitting on the speculative. And every time Bitcoin moves between the different wallet addresses, it will spur some FUD and some fear in the market. Remember what FUD is. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's what FUD stands for. So it doesn't need to be all three. It could just be fear. It could just be uncertainty. Could be just doubt. Or it could be all three. But I do think that that will cause a little bit of a sell pressure when those funds start to actively get dispersed. Now, question is, are they going to do it over the period up to the deadline, or are they going to just affect it, sometime in a week or sometime in probably, I would guess, a little bit further out, somewhere is maybe as early as August. More likely, I would assume closer to what's going, September into October. But we're going to have to track this and realize that if there is FUD in the market, whether or not it's legitimate or not, if the price dips from here and we see where this market goes post-halving, that's an opportunity for us to still take advantage of prices at this level. Maybe price goes a little higher and then drops. Maybe it drops from here. Whatever the price dips from here, in a bull trend, you're looking for opportunities when price comes to the downside. Let's see the forest and the trees on this and not just get fudded out because currently some Bitcoin holdings got moved from one wallet to the other. Now, on the bullish side, the entire crypto market has just begun its first macro bullish expansion in 3.5 years. This is also roughly about what that global liquidity cycle is. I've talked about this before. Some people say it's the halving. Other people that look at global markets and know nothing about the halving can also look to this chart and see these moves and line it up with the global liquidity cycle and see that this perfectly correlates to when global liquidity starts increasing again. When the global liquidity starts decreasing, aka quantitative tightening, or there's some sort of recessionary event or just pressure on economies, we also see these move down. So there's a little bit of both going on here. We just need to be aware that we need to be adaptable in this market. But when we're looking at this right here, the entire crypto market cap has just begun its first macro bullish expansion in 3.5 years. What do we see here? Volatility index down here on the bottom. This goes into a sort of negative sort of zone here, and it flips back positive right here. Look, yes, the market had already moved up, but this is where the signal is. This is also where we had this large consolidation of the Bollinger Band, which means the volatility has shrunk because we haven't had huge price movement. And once you have a constriction of volatility, the next step is expansion in volatility. And when you line up that expansion in volatility with where we're at in a bull cycle, as well as where we're at with the global liquidity, aka fuel for bullish price action, then you can see the volatility's flips. We have the consolidation, expansion, and we're in a bull trend. This is where you get that move. And this is what has just flashed again very recently. And this is on a 2-month chart. If you're wondering why it looks so, compressed, it's because each candle is 2 months. Now, when we go and move on to, make sure you're giving me a follow here at Kelly Kellam, KELLYKELLAM. If every single one of you follows me right now, you'll get me over that 25,000 mark. I think I'm at like 24,964. So about 40 of you, hit that follow button. You are going to make my day if we can get over 25,000 on the stream. And also make sure you're following BitLab Academy. And again, I'm going to shout it out one more time. I want you guys that watch daily to have the lead, the most ability to take part in that $100 USDT giveaway. And it's, again, that's this tweet right here. I also have it pinned in the top of the live chat. Go and retweet this. hit the like button. Let's see if any of you are following along and wanting $100. 6 of you want $100. Well, hey, that means it's a 1 in 6 chance right now. So let's go ahead and move on there. I just want to make sure that I keep you guys ahead of the pack, make sure we can get as much to you as possible. Are we at a cycle top though? When we look at the NVRV, the market value, what you're seeing on exchange, when you're talking about the price of Bitcoin, that's the market value. And then the realized value, this line is the average price of every Bitcoin that's in circulation the last time it moved. So if you've been holding it for a year, then that price that would be calculated in the equation was what the price was a year ago. But if you trade that today, sell it, buy it, trade it to somebody else, then the average price will be today's price. And when you do that for every coin on network, you get this moving average. And if you haven't noticed yet, and I've talked about this before, if you're ever wondering in a bear market, how do I know when to buy? Well, you can look at the realized price. You see this bear market right here? This is a Bitcoin price, this gray line. When the Bitcoin price drops down, look at this, below the realized price, that's the first very strong indication I should be looking for what my strategy is to start deploying. It doesn't need to be one lump sum. Start looking at how am I going to start layering in, because you've gotten to the point when the price is below the realized price that this is this ultimate consolidation area, accumulation before the next move. Even here, COVID crash, look, dip below, amazing buy opportunity. What do we get over here? We kind of dipped below a little bit here. So is this a bad buy? Oh my God, it dips further. Remember, if you're in a bear market and you start layering in here, you're not mad at this. Remember, we're laddering our entries in either way. Maybe you're DCAing over the course of 3 or 4 months at the bottom of a bear market. That's a great strategy. Then you average your price a little lower over here. And I have other metrics I talk about in BitLab Academy in the course area there. And also, I think I have some videos in the Discord as well, talking about some more direct signals that get you even a little bit more laser focused. But when we're looking at how far the price, see how far this price is separated from the realized price? That's when this pink line gets very high. This is measuring the distance of this price from this. So what we're seeing is this gets very high, and we can see these colored marks here from On-Chain College showing that things are getting very overheated. And when you compare the last cycles, even these tops here, on the run up, even this top here before the top, all of this, look how little color we had here. Look how little separation we had. So are we market cycle topping right now? I do not think so. Could we have a huge sell event right now because of Mt. Gox? Yeah, but that doesn't say in this bull trend over through 2025, I still think we're going a lot higher than the 74,000 top that we just got. This would be abysmal if the price action got a, 68, 69,000 top last cycle. And then this cycle top, 74,000, you're out of your mind. So all that to be said, I'm bullish, I'm patient, I'm looking for opportunities to the downside. We can also, so all 141,000 Bitcoin have now been transferred to a new wallet. Repayment deadline, this is Mt. Gox coins being held. Getting a phone call there. Cancel. Repayment deadline is October 2024. So the question is going to be, are they going to deploy it all in October or before that? Now let's go on. We're almost there. I just also want to share this chart with you, which is the power law. Basically, great metric to look at where we're at on Bitcoin. And if you're ever worried about what's going on, just look at how this shapes out. This is just an incredible metric on the power law. Look at all these lows, even the COVID dip there, even the FTX crash there, boom. And then let's go ahead, shape it out and look at it on basically a 5-year contour and see what's going on with where the price is at. It's these type of charts that give you confidence about what your strategy and your longer term vision is. I mean, look at this going up, even with that sort of truncated last cycle. And where we're at right now, we've got so much room to go before we even start to challenge how high we are. We've got so much ahead of us in this market. Now, when we look at this, instead of being on a log scale, but when we look at, let's go ahead and pause that. Hold on. Let me go ahead and pause that back right where we just were. I mean, this is $1 million potentially at the top by 2031? Can't you just wait a couple years for it to get up there? I mean, I'm okay with it. So when we're worried about a 50-day consolidation, and then we look longer term, it's like, oh, man, I'm looking for any buy opportunity when it's low. This is incredible. And then look at this. 2036, the power law suggests $1 million bottom. Is that, I mean, you couldn't be more bullish. Now, when you continue on with this, this goes further into what this looks like shaped out actually on power law on the time contours. And this is just showing, I mean, up in a way. I'm so bullish about what's happening here. By the way, when you are stacking, when you are holding, make sure you're using a good cold storage wallet. And by the way, I will be at Consensus in Austin. I'm heading out tomorrow morning. I'm landing at like 9 or 9:30. I will be popping by the Arculus booth there several times. So I look forward to seeing you guys. And anybody that is there, let me know in the live chat right now. We're going to, don't worry, we're continuing. I got some charts to share with you. But make sure you get, this is my favorite cold storage wallet. It's one of the, I consider the most secure. Biometric, PIN, seed phrase, and the card itself comes in a box like this. Pull it out, then you can put this, basically, it's like a credit card that has all the same technology. It's the same guy that built all the patents for your credit cards that you tap with all these, these chips in them. This patent, it's the same guy that he also happened to be in crypto, developed this card, and that this security mechanism has never been breached from my understanding. But head over to getarculus.com and use LAB10, LAB10 for 10% off. And I'll see you at the Arculus booth there. And I'm going to be picking one person that may come up, one of you BitLabbers, while I'm there, that I'm going to be giving a card away to. And we're going to basically show exactly how easy it is to set up. So big love to everybody there, and shout out to Arculus. Now, where are we at? Macro, everything's great. I just want to point out on the 200-day moving average, this is up now to $53,000. I believe, let's see over here, where's this 200-day moving average? Where's 200-day? That's the short-term holder cost basis. 200-day moving average, 48. I think we've reached an all-time high on the 200-day moving average. This is a macro trend line that is breaking to all-time highs. So even if we dipped, we have all the way down to $53,000 before we really get worried about any true bearishness. We've got a lot of leeway in these charts. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about what that leeway is. Let's talk about what the chart suggests may be coming, may be happening here. I do think there's a lot of speculative fear right now because of that movement of those assets from the, I almost said Arculus, from the Mt. Gox wallets into, as they're preparing for whatever their disbursements are going to be. So when we're looking at this, let's just take a little bit of a gander here. Having a consolidation, previous all-time high. We got some key levels we're watching. This is a previous all-time high, around 74,000. We basically consolidated down in this falling wedge. We did break out bullish. We came down, retested this, and launched back up. But this is still looking, it's still sitting on this shelf from the previous all-time high. Currently, on this chart, it doesn't look bearish at all. This looks like it's setting up for a move. When we get down to a little bit smaller, look, positive money flow, the momentum is angled to the upside. If we get down, though, and we get down, for instance, to the 8-hour chart, this looks a little bit more precarious if you're thinking about just a bullish narrative. When you're looking at it like this, we can see on the 8-hour, you see why it's important to look at the macro. Okay, dominant trend, bullish. When we get down to a little bit smaller time frame, sub-daily, this is looking a little more bearish. What do we see here? We see basically a double top. Boom, boom. I have to sneeze. Thank you for that. We have a lower high here, and currently we still have a higher low with this wick to where these candles are closed. I'm in the camp right now until otherwise that unless there's more FUD from the Mt. Gox stuff or some movement or like an announcement, all disbursements are happening imminently, that will definitely, I think, drive some speculative price to the downside, bearish price action. But when I'm looking at this as it is, because of the bullishness of what's going on in the market, I feel like this is more of a reaction to this movement up, a little bit of a bull trap. Following that with what has been happening time and time again in this market, bull trap to the upside, bear trap to the downside, come back to equilibrium. Then a little bit of that uncertainty consolidates and the bulls hold, the bulls resume and move back to the upside. As it stands right now on the 8 hour, we do have the stochastics. Look, they basically came up here, created a new high, but now coming down and starting to round out higher low on this orange line, which is the stochastics. The RSI also pushed up to 73, came right back down. Where? Right about that 40 to 50% level. If we can maintain this and push back up, that would be phenomenal. If the RSI does start to break down, that would signal that we may be moving lower. But currently, we still have positive money flow on the 6 hour. It is trying to round a bit. And this is the thing that kind of worries me the most on this oscillator. The VWAP, volume weighted average price, is showing that this is making a move away. The price it's moving away into basically playing that negative spread sort of movement on the price. So let's see what it looks like with the BitLab trading stack here overlaid. And what we're looking at is this yellow line. We have the green line, which is the trend signal line. We have the 20 moving average right here, which is just kind of like a trigger line. But I primarily watch this trend signal line. We have this dynamic support zone or potentially dynamic resistance zone above. But this yellow line is the volume weighted average price. It lets you know this is a weekly volume weighted average price. Are the big money players in the market trying to play a positive spread or a negative spread? Meaning when the price breaks above this, see, they're playing a positive spread and they confirm it right here where it tests this. They want to, okay, they basically make this move, they let it come back and touch, then they allow the next move to happen. But now we've lost it, tested it, started to move down, trick here, and currently we're in a precarious situation because we're sort of oscillating back and forth around it. We had the reversal signal here. So let's get down to a little bit smaller time frame. Let's look at the 2 hour. The yellow line is going to be in the same spot because it's the weekly VWAP. But the other lines will change, right? Because we're on the 2 hour. So now this is a 50 moving average with some other stuff that we coded into it. So on the 2 hours, it's kind of slightly moved. But look at this. Loses this, finds support on the VWAP. Rejects at the trend signal line. This was already telling you it's starting to be more bearish. Comes back, tests again. We actually had some bullish intentions, but got rejected on the trend signal line again. And then down. Now we've actually broken the VWAP, showing a little bit more bearishness. And look at this. This time when we tap it and we have a lower high selling volume, which is why this candle is purple. It means there's a lot of selling pressure in this. So we got rejected and finally lost the VWAP. And now we're essentially getting rejected at this with no positive spread. We had the fake out, trend shift, and boom, right back down. So unless we can get over this relatively soon, which is 68,714, which is also correlating with this rising trend line that we have here. If we push up to this and get rejected again, I'm expecting at minimum to come down to this 66.7, 66.6 level. Let's not do 66.6. Let's call it 66.7 right in here. This would be sort of the end of the trap zone, I should call it. If we come here and bounce, that would be great. Do a little work and then move up. If we do push up to the weekly VWAP and nuke to the downside, then we do have a possibility of the price action coming down to this trend line right in here. How big is this trend line? Well, let's see. This trend line goes all the way back to September 2022. So this means on this chart, I'm going to show you two different charts because you'll have lines drawn a different way, but it gives you a regional understanding of what you should be looking for. If this does lose this level, then we have this box here that we already had drawn and this macro trend line here. So I'm looking for potentially a target here down into, 61 down to 60. But I want to show you another chart. Let's come right here. We drew this yesterday. I'm trying to also offer you guys much simpler charts as often as possible as well so we can see what's going on. If we look at this, we have this move, rising level of support, this touch, this touch. We have this falling wedge. This is broken out, and we've created this head and shoulders. We're also sitting on the Fibonacci from this move to the bottom. We're literally sitting on the shelf of trying to remain bullish, which is this golden pocket of this move. So this is why it's not just this head and shoulders. If we lose this trend line, which we're essentially have, but we're fighting to stay in this region, if we lose this zone, we're not only losing this trend line on the head and shoulders, which mind you, let's go ahead and measure this from the top of the head to the neckline. Let's measure this out. Let's just see where it points to. And look at that. Points right to what trend line is this? Oh, the one that we had drawn. And what is also here? All of these highs, all this chop zone, all in here, we can see very interesting price action level. A lot of volume was traded at these prices. So we have the rising trend line. We have the horizontal chop zone that pushes out. But then what is also in this region? What was one of the things I showed you a few minutes ago? Very important level that I talk about all the time, which is this short-term holder cost basis. This line right here is at $61,800, $62,000. Marks, look at this. Bullish, bullish, bullish all the way up. Breaks above, bullish, 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 bullish. This is marking that positive spread, very bullish behavior. So we'd like to really hold above this to really maintain a bullish posture. And what was that level we just said? 62,000. So the breakdown of this head and shoulders and the loss of the golden pocket suggests the target would be down here right at that, just above, but right at that short-term holder cost basis, which is also the rising level of support, which is also this chop zone extended out. We have three different important levels right here telling me that this is an important area to maintain if we want to maintain a strong bullish posture in the near term. So that's what I'm seeing right now on Bitcoin. We have to also pay attention to this chart because I want to be so bullish on the alts and all the signals say it, but then we get these little things in the market that make us go, oh, is it going to happen? And that is this basically Bitcoin dominance chart. This is a point. This is where it breaks down again. This is where it breaks down again. And look at this rising level of support that we technically have broken below, confirmed it as resistance. And then after we confirmed it as resistance, then we see the price action starting to round out. And we have a double top right in here. There's quite a bit of somewhat bearish signals on the dominance. Bearish signals on the dominance is very bullish for altcoins. So could it be that with all of this sort of negative speculation about what's happening with the Mt. Gox coins, but the overarching bullishness of all this institutional interest in the crypto markets, predominantly Bitcoin and soon to be Ethereum when the Ethereum ETF was approved, but when it's launched and where we're at in the market cycle, could this spell a little bit of a slowdown and explosive behavior on Bitcoin? It could still go up and the dominance fall if the attention starts focusing more on altcoins, because these charts, this is suggesting that if this does lose, basically start making that move to the downside, this will perfectly correlate with very beautiful bullish action on the total 2 and especially on the total 3, which is, we still haven't even hit all-time highs like we did on Bitcoin. This is that index of all those altcoins that are out there. If the Bitcoin dominance is falling, then this is likely moving up very strong. So this is we're kind of in a beautiful scenario right now, and it feels frustrating because like it's supposed to be bullish after the halving. But remember, what did I share? I'm not going to go back and find the tweet. I shared on a couple of days before the halving and a few days after, the chart that I showed you that was 60 to 150 days post-halving could be a lot of fake outs, a lot of consolidation, a big move up, Bart Simpson pattern back down. And it's like, but if you know that, then you could look right now on the Bitcoin chart. Let's go ahead and measure that out. Where's the halving? Let's go ahead and get that posted. The halving was roughly, for some reason, it doesn't show up on here. It was right here, option V. There we go. So there's where the halving was. Let's measure this out. Sometimes if you're not sure, be honest with yourself if you're not sure, but this is why we have charts. We have the ability to break things down here. Shout out to Mark Dutch in the house, Jennifer Geraldo, how you doing? Alexandra G, Green Day Profits, Quarter Crawler, Chris Pfaff, so many people, Ruzba, Fibonaccios and guac. I love it. Theo Rodriguez, how you doing? Shout out to everybody that is here. But let's go ahead and measure this out from this point. Let's do, what is this? So here's 60 days. We're not even at the shorter time frame that I mentioned that we've seen in every cycle. Let's go back and see what the hell are you talking about, Kelly? Well, let's go here. Let's go to halving cycle. Let's go ahead and look at this. Come on. I always had to click it twice. There we go. Halving cycle. Look at what's going on here. We have, you can't see the day 4 all the way to day 160 it took before this started taking that real big move to the upside. Shout out to Alexandra G gifting 5 memberships. Big love to you. Everybody, if you are a member here, drop your favorite emojis. If you're buying the dip, drop the shopping cart. If you're just bullish, as you can be, drop the bull. Let's get it, man. Shout out there, Rodriguez. Pluto Bollock, veteran crypto. Hey, I'm a veteran. Shout out for Memorial Day yesterday and to all the lost soldiers on any side of any battle. Big love to everybody. And also put sats and bulls. It's very small on my screen up there. Shout out to everybody in the room. But this is what we're talking about. This sideways action is what wrecks more people than you can even imagine. But if you're patient, then you get that. Or maybe you have to be a little more patient because the market's larger, and then you get this yellow line. Boom. Or you have to be, you know, this one actually ran faster than the previous cycle. You see the yellow line? This was a 2017 run. This orange line right here, this was a 2020 run up into the double top we had. So everything is looking beautiful right now. When we're wondering why the price isn't moving, we're within the 60 days post halving. So this could mean, let's go there. What is 150 days? 150 days would put us out at 100, let's do 156. That would put us into September. We potentially, you have to know this, as bullish as I am, you have to know that the price action may go up, actually get a new all-time high, pull back, really scare the living bejesus out of everybody. Do a little circle like this, loop-de-loo, chop out everybody possible, come back up. Everybody goes leverage long there. It flushes the open interest, comes back down, comes back to equilibrium. We go boring for a couple weeks and then boom. That is a real possibility. Everybody says it's not possible though when they're biased because they're looking at all this institutional buying and they say it's not going to stop. Even if they're buying, that doesn't negate the retail out there and the FUD stories from things like, not Grayscale, Mt. Gox, and, you know, potential, you know, what if the ETH ETF is overturned? Because remember, it was only delegated votes. The commissioner can still overturn that. So there's a lot of things that can happen between now and November. You have to be prepared because as it stands right now, all that's happened is, what's happening there? All that's happened is the price is, excuse me, there's pollen in here or something. Price is just ranging sideways. Had a range, kind of broke down, but now pushed back up. We're essentially sitting at equilibrium. One could argue that we have a triple top. 1, 2, 3. If this is the case, is there an argument for lower price action? Sure, there's an argument for lower price action. I'm still more bullish than that. But if we look at it, I've been marking this out from, you know, for the last year. But, you know, since we started pushing up, I've had these levels up for a long time. We still have that $53,000 mark that's here. Remember, that's the short, that's a 200-day moving average. We still have this very key level here, 57, which this could actually be moved up here now, 61,000. That's somewhat in the caliber, the area that we're talking about here with this chart. This is why you draw a couple different charts for the same asset. So you can see you're looking at it in different ways from different lenses so you can regionally have a good understanding about where you're looking to identify potential buys, identify what your strategy is for taking profits if you're actively trading these smaller ranges. So things are, I'm comfortable here. I'm confident. If we drop from here, I actually will be, oh, shout out Green Day Profits, 5 more gifted memberships. Big love to you. I appreciate you so much. Views, 444 views. That's a great number right now. Everybody, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding the bell. But let's go ahead and look at a couple other things. Let's look at Link. I said, I forget who said it yesterday. They asked me to do Link. Mark Dutch finally got that membership. Big love. Also, Trucker Crypto and a couple other people. Ben Simmons, BG, Aaron Kubak. Big love to everybody there. Thank you guys for the love and support. I appreciate you. And guys, let me know. Do you guys like this studio? Because I'm thinking, because I always have to go back and forth from my office. I'm kind of thinking of just setting up my office upstairs as also a studio, so I can just click on at a moment's notice and click off. So let me know what you think on that. Yeah. So links on, on the verge to potentially have some really big partnerships. And this is such a strong coin in the crypto ecosystem. It's so connected to so many different things, Web 2 and Web 3 and data and blockchain. It is such a strong coin. Sometimes people get mad that it doesn't just moon all the time. But let's go ahead and delete some lines here. See, sometimes you just get a messy chart after a while. You go through, you clean up some stuff. All right, so let's see. It's nasty time, says Sack Nasty. Yeah, new setup wouldn't be bad. You know what I am doing, by the way? I probably won't have it by next week. I'm completely redoing the layout of everything on for the video. It's going to be a higher definition video, cleaner screen. I'm not going to have the backdrop. I'm just going to make it. I'm going to make it clean. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, studio doesn't matter. Your content is fire. That is what is important. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much for that. But we see here, we were talking about that triple top potential that we saw in that last asset. But look at a link, breakdown, bounce, 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 triple bottom, move to the upside. And where are we sort of consolidating at the moment? Look at this initial rejection. Boom, right here. Where all this price interactivity was. Rejection. The bull said, no, we really want to go through it. And then now you have the move through it. And now we're getting the inverse of this rejection back down launch. Now, what we'd like to see if we're bulls, we'd like to see this push up, test, continue. So this is sort of an interesting place right now for this to be sitting. If we lose this, then we're going to want to watch very closely for the price to come back up and reject and potentially signal prices going lower. As it stands right now, I'm being a little bit off hands, especially because I'm about to travel. But with what's going on with all this data that we just saw from all this movement and how the market is kind of spooked by that, I think coming into about the middle of June, I think it's my belief or my analytical view that we may start seeing some very strong bullish price action if we haven't yet. So let's go ahead and be patient there. And that's also going to be contingent. Remember, we have to adjust our analysis on a dime. When new information presents itself to us, a new variable could impact what your analytical outline is for what you think is coming. So this is why I do this stream almost every day, to make sure that even if I make an announcement about a thought, this is going to adjust, and you all need to basically make sure that you remain flexible. I do want to shout out also that if we do push up to the upside, we're really watching this $20 to $22 range. Once we clear that, I think there's not only strong bullishness, but I think the market is probably as a whole doing very well at that point. And if not, maybe Chainlink runs first and then the next ones do. Injective, I haven't talked about in a while. Downtrend resistance, 2 of them from here to here, but also from these points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've broken out of that. Tested back down, launched, but what did we form on this? We cannot ignore, even if we want it to be bullish, we cannot ignore that giant head and shoulders right there. So what does this mean? Option T, click on the chart, you get a trend line, remember? PC, Alt T, then you don't have to come over here and do the toolbar. So let's do Option T if you're on Mac, Alt T if you're on PC. We have a trend line, sort of neckline right there. Now we can do another one from the top of this head all the way down to the neckline. This is suggesting a possible, doesn't mean it has to happen, a possible target all the way down here from 25. Look at this. I'm doing this live with you guys. I didn't set this up. This is coming right down to a known level, 2161. Now, what is this level? Previous range top here before on this way up. We can see these rejections right in here? These candles, boom. They gave us a range. And interestingly, this current head and shoulders has a target right in that 20 to 20, 2055 sort of range. Do I think it's going to happen? If the market broadly has a huge downturn, then yes, I think that'll happen. If we're getting washouts on a lot of the markets, you have to pay attention. The target is here, so it's going to make people really believe in the conviction of that move. But we also have this zone right here, option J, option J. These are the levels that I'd be watching for more predominantly for opportunities to actually take a buy, so long as the market doesn't have some catastrophic other news, Taiwan's invaded, etc. Then we're going to want to remove some buy orders, move things a little lower, because there will probably be a pretty big opportunity if that were to happen. But this would be basically 2250 and the next level down, which would basically be a double bottom if this did come right into here, front running the target at about 2130 right on there. If this is able to maintain this zone, also with Bitcoin, if we come back over to Bitcoin, where are we at? If we come back over to Bitcoin and zoom in here, if Bitcoin also is just doing a little bit of a washout, because look, W pattern. If this was just a little bit of a fake out to the downside and this does resolve to the upside, then we can come back to our alts and also see that we may get the same thing here where this resolves here, because we're starting to build a little bit of a W here. Maybe this is just a trap, comes back down. This is the washout and we continue higher. As it stands right now, when we're looking at the data, there's negative money flow. The VWAP came up and got rejected, but it's looking like a weak rejection because you see this arcing. This is arcing back towards the zero line. Come back over to 4 hour. Let's look at this, what it looks like here. You can do it if you, there we go. 4 hour chart comes down, bounces, and is starting to angle up, but we're getting some contention here. This is trying to angle up. Stochastics are looking a little weak. The RSI tried to make a move up and is looking a little weak. So I think everybody's waiting on that move from Bitcoin, and this is going to be the story across the board. Let's watch what happens here. If Bitcoin loses 67.5, I do believe that we're going to minimum test 66.7 and then potentially down here into this great opportunity zone, 63. But that's what I'm seeing today, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope to see more of you getting involved over in the BitLab Academy as well. Remember, we still got that special going on. The link is going to be at the very end. You'll see it. It's lab.bitlabacademy.com. It'll take you to this page, lab.bitlabacademy.com/Kelly. I'll put it in the live chat right now. And make sure you it's half month free, 15 days free. No commitment. You can cancel anytime. But then you can also, you get 33 or 35% off the cost of the BitLab community for the life of your account. And you also have an access right after you sign up to the indicators and the courses at a really reduced price as well. So take advantage of that. If you have any issues when you're signing up, you can always email me, help@bitlabacademy.com. I'd love to see you guys in the Discord. So many great charts we're sharing in there. John Dalton, Corduroy, myself, DZ posts some trades. Joshua Jake does member streams in there as well. So big love to you all. I'll be traveling tomorrow morning. There may not be a stream in the morning. I might pre-record something this afternoon and get something. We'll see. But I'll be doing a stream. I'll try to do a stream each day, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. And remember, do not get so worried about some of the movements that are happening right now. We know what's coming. We know that the macro is showing so much bullishness about what's coming to this market at the moment. So don't get so myopically focused on the short term. 2-month chart is showing a massive signal of the bullishness that is before us. So let's get it. Let's ride. Let's make some money in this market. If you haven't yet, do me the supreme and godly favor, hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, comment down below this video, not in the live chat. Comment down below this video where you think Bitcoin and Ethereum prices are going to be at the end of June. I'd love to see your answers. We'll go over some of those in one of our next streams. Comment below this video where you think Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be at the end of June. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Shout out to our sponsors, Galactics and Arculus. That's all I got. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Scared money don't make no money. Hit that like button, suckers.